So I think I want to buy a commuter car that has an automatic transmission. The manual's getting a little annoying. I found this one on Craigslist. 96 Camry V6 auto. Looks super clean. Doesn't look like there's any rock chips. Headlight looks shiny. Interior looks clean. Missing floor mats maybe. That center console armrest looks maybe reupholstered, but overall just like everything looks clean. So I'm gonna go check it out. Hopefully it's worth buying, and we'll see. It says 2000 firm, 130,000 mile V6, very good shape. Needs front struts and lower control arms and tightening of rack and pinion. So struts, lower control arms, tightening of rack and pinion sounds odd. Struts and lower control arms, maybe like they tried to get it aligned and it wouldn't align or something, and they like it needs some parts in order to align, but we'll see. The rack and pinion being a loose thing. My wife owned a Lexus ES300, which is like really similar drivetrain to this, and it had a loose rack and pinion also. I actually never fixed that one. I ended up selling it like that, so I don't actually know what the problem was, but we'll see when we go look at this thing. So I'm just driving this car home after buying it. 129,000 miles. Biggest thing that's wrong with it is the steering. It's like loose. There's like a bunch of play before the car starts moving. It'll kind of sit straight, but it's a lot of play. When I shake on the wheel, the steering or you can hear the racks like slopping around. Either the like inner tie rods or the rack isn't like mounted correctly or something, but it's sloppy, and it feels like the turning radius is not great turning left. I haven't turned right all the way yet, but I used to have one of these cars before, and I don't remember the steering radius or the turning radius being that bad. So maybe something to do with that, but it's tracking straight. The tires are evenly worn. It's smooth. Alright, I'm headed over to a friend's house now to look at the front end. He's got a lift, so we're gonna put up on the lift and check out the steering and suspension and stuff. Alright, so we just tightened up a bolt on the steering rack, and now it's good. No more looseness. It's driving pretty straight, and the steering wheel is like barely not centered, but it's so close. Like I might loosen the bolt up and then just like roll the car forward a little bit on the ground, try to center it, and then tighten the bolt up again, see if I can get it like perfect. But yeah, all we had to do is tighten a one steering rack bolt, and it had a knock on like potholes or gravel roads that we thought was the strut, but it is I think it's gone. I need to do a little bit more driving and check it, but I think that might have just been the steering rack. Like when you hit a bump, tie rod pushes the rack left and right, and makes it knock some potholes. Yeah, there's like nothing now. So that's that. You know, we were estimating needing struts and lower control arms they told her it needed, and maybe steering rack bushings, or a worst case steering rack, but I think we just fixed all of it by tightening one bolt. What's next is we gotta check the brakes, because when you're, I could feel them like pulsating, like the rotors are warped, so we'll see what it's got for rotors, and we can have them turned, or I just get rotors for it or something. And then I need to put a stereo in it, because this factory stereo is like not great. All right, we're home. I'll go around and show everything that is kind of wrong with it. Clean front end for like anything of this age. This is like the biggest issue right there. I don't know if I would even do anything for it, but this headlight is clean. It's a little faded at the top, which could buff off. This one isn't, needs to be buffed. I don't know if they replaced that side. I did notice driving it at night the other day that this headlight, I think, has like an aftermarket bulb in it. It's a little bit whiter. Front tires are kind of old. They're a little aged, but the tread is like okay. I'll probably leave them. It has a factory windshield, so that's probably the original windshield, and it's not even like pitted or anything. Like, it's good glass. There's one rock chip, and then the defrost vents, if you can see inside, like cracked right there, one, and the other one's cracked. I don't even know how I would fix that. Rear tires are in better condition than the front tires. This is like the only real body issue. It needs a tail light. Tail light's cracked, and then it's kind of pushed in, like just really slight dent right there. But I think we put a tail light in it, buff whatever paint is there off, is good. That needs to be buffed off. Little black. Not a big fan of the gold emblems, but I mean, they're all right. I could take them off and maybe either black or like, I don't know, black sometimes. It looks like, it makes it look modified, which I don't like. I think maybe take the emblems off and paint them like the same color as the body, and then put them back on might look good. The power antenna doesn't do anything. It's like, but if you leave it up, it works. I don't really listen to the radio, so. The rear tint, I mean all the tint. The side tint, you can see it's purple, it's cheap tint. You can see in the rear, in the third brake light, they tried to take it off, but obviously it all bubbled up, they couldn't see out of it, so they tried to take it off. Hopefully, worst case scenario, they used a razor blade, and at some point they broke all the defrost lines. I hope this one looks broken right there. That defrost line is broken. Hopefully none of them others are. My Corolla has a couple broken ones, and it's kind of annoying. I don't see any other brakes, but we won't know until it fogs up and I try to use it. But all that tint needs to be removed. Side tint needs to be removed. I hate purple tint. The wipers, like these could do with some paint. One cigarette burn right there. The rest of it, like, I mean, just small marks that could be taken out. Kind of an issue. I mean, this door handle looks like it broke, and it hasn't fully, no, it just hasn't fully broken yet, but it's going to. The other side is broken for sure. And then this door, like, all the locks work. Oh, now this one doesn't want to work. So, oh wow, okay. So it just failed, but what it was doing was not locking and unlocking. Like, if you had the door here, it would lock and unlock. But then if you open the door, it stopped. It wouldn't do anything. So that tells me that the wire in there is probably broken. And now, since it won't work at all, it's probably completely broken. Everything else in the interior is like perfect. Center console armrest, perfect. Perfect back seat, like, it's great. Fold down seats, giant trunk. It's the old window tint there. So 6-cylinder, the things that I found up here are, it's leaking off the front of the engine here somewhere. It's up high, and it's not the valve cover. So I'm assuming it's cam seals. Now Toyota did the timing belt, what's that, 15 years ago at 71,000 miles. It's almost due. Like if 70,000 is the interval, then we've got 10,000 left. The oil leak is slow. We'll probably just wait that 10,000 miles to do the timing belt. It has one exhaust stud bolt missing, which is kind of odd. I don't hear any exhaust leak. And then the transmission, automatic transmission pan is a bit wet and leaking. So at some point we'll have to reseal the transmission pan. And cool things are, still has the factory Toyota red coolant with the anti-corrosion stuff in it. And like the CV axles have like the Toyota sticker on them, like they're new from Toyota, which those axles are like $600 each from Toyota. So that's really cool. Like factory axles. On the axle says Toyota. You can see transmission looks wet, but up by the axles it's dry on both sides, so it's pretty much the pan. And then the oil pan's also wet from the front of the motor, and we think it's the cam seals. Okay, so then there's this Evap canister right there, and you can see it like looks kind of weird. Well, I don't know if I can find it. It's busted. I can't tell if that's focusing. It's busted. It looks, I don't know what that stuff is on it. Maybe it was glue, like somebody tried to glue it together. But I think we need that Evap canister. It's not setting the check engine light off yet. I think that it should be checking this. It should be making the check engine light go off. So, but yeah, that Evap canister needs to be replaced. I'm just gonna do like a dab of anti-seize. Like golden. I don't know when the last oil change was. Okay, I want to take care of this headlight. The top edge needs to be buffed here a little bit. That whole thing needs to be buffed. I think they match pretty good now. Okay, since we have the buffer out, let's try to do these other spots. All right, so this back one, that came out like totally gone. This one, there's just this little paint chips. Everything else came off. There's like one tiny little yellow spot left that could probably come off, but I didn't want to push it too far, and you can barely see it. I can't feel it. This front one, there's some spots left, but I can't feel them, and I don't want to burn it, so I'm just gonna leave them. But for the most part, it came out. So now we need a wash. I should have taken a video of it before, but after polishing that headlight, they're both projecting the same color. I think it looks kind of yellow on the camera, but it's pretty white.
crazy. $150,000 to restore the wheel, and then another almost, well, 600, yeah, another about 700,000 to do the park and the wheel. Wow, look at that. It's kind of crazy. It's like tilted. That is so cool. Like, look at it. It has like passageways underneath there. Or like waterways, you know? One day that won't be here anymore, you know? But no. Number 3.
Like all the wheels, it was constructed at Kennedy Mine and disassembled and reconstructed.
Oh.
But who did it?